Sean, you
Man.
talking about me?
Yep.
Oh, yeah, no problem. Hey, Coach.
Okay.
Curious for you. As we get into Arkansas Twilight, what are some of the things that you and the team are looking forward to this weekend?
Yeah, hi. Thanks for having me on today. I think we're excited about this weekend is really about setting up the conference meet, right? So you got some people that are competing in some events that they normally don't compete in, or they're fine tuning, just looking to find that last piece that they need going into the championship season. Whether it be steps or whatever it may be, you're fine tuning your event, right? Either on the track or in the field. So. I think we're excited about doing just that. There's also a bunch of folks that we're still looking at, that could earn their space on a roster going into the SEC meet. Some folks that don't get a chance to race a ton are going to get a good opportunity to race tomorrow night and show us what they can do. So we're excited about that as well. And it looks like the weather's going to be pretty good. So we're excited about what might happen.
And coming off the LSU Invitational, what do you think that the team did well down there that can translate to the next couple weeks?
Oh man, that was a great meet to just kind of see where we were at. There's a lot of SEC schools there. Pretty much the upper brass of the SEC was there, and then a few other schools from other conferences that have some really good teams. So it gave us a really good opportunity to see where we stand going into the championship season. I mean, getting Rachel Glenn on the high jump run apron was huge, and seeing what she can do. Just looking at the 400 and what we did there. Getting a win in the 1500 was really cool. So there were a lot of good things. We had some good action in the pole vault that I think really sets up well for the SEC meet. I think Rachel will have a good chance getting on one more bar to get up into the mix there. So yeah, lots of good things happened, and always good. When Rachel Glenn takes out the Georgia high jumper like that, I mean, she was literally just distraught. And that's not a bad thing going into the championship season when you can take down one of the favorites in the high jump like that. So obviously we got to do it on a championship weekend, but it certainly was a good sign for us to see us winning races, winning events at the important time of the year as we roll into the championship season.
Awesome. Thanks, Coach. That's all I got, Sean, for now.
Okay. Thank you. Matthew, did you have a question for Coach Burns and Coach Bucknam's with us now as well?
Yeah, yeah. Hi, Mark. Kind of you touched on it a little bit, but just from a coaching staff perspective, I mean, what are you guys hoping to get out of a meet like this right before you go into SEC?
Yeah, really important. Just fine tuning, things going into the championship season, right? Like I said, we'll have some people will run off events, and that kind of contributes to them being completely prepared for their main event at the championship level. Like I said, we're still looking at some folks, so seeing where they're at this time of year. It's always good to see people competing well and at a high level this late in the season. You might have somebody that ran or jumped a mark early in the year, like back in late March, and you kind of want to see where they're at here because this is, obviously we're heading into Lexington next week. So, it's just like anything else, right? The most recent performance is probably the most important one, right? So yeah, we're looking for specifically speaking, the field events are really important. Just fine tuning, steps, runway, takeoff, landing, just little bits and pieces of what's going to help you be at your best when we get to the SEC meet because it's the gauntlet there, right? You get there and the pressure's high, the lights are on, the competition is at the highest level it can be, and you need to be able to almost turn your brain off and just go into overdrive mode there. So we fine tune things here, and then we show up there and we're ready to roll.
And then I guess who are some of your athletes that you'll have your eyes on for the people that you said are kind of on the fringe of, maybe getting a roster spot?
That's a good question. The roster is so big. I don't really. I'd have to go through and I might have to think about that one for a second. But we the folks in the 400, 800 hurdles, and we've got it whittled down. We've pretty much got our roster in place minus a few people. So I don't know if I have names for you, to be honest, off the top of my head.
Yeah, I'll jump in. Hey, Coach, curious, for you, you described last weekend as, a solid weekend, not too many overall standouts, but what can you take from that as you guys move into one of these last really like tune-up meets before championship season?
Yeah, we looked at last week, and then we looked at the LSU invite and this meet here, the Twilight meet, as kind of in the same ballpark, and that is, hey, we're throughout those two meets, everybody will have competed, you know, in preparation for the SEC championship. So we saw some things last week. We're good with those athletes. We saw a few other things that, hey, a couple of those kids will have to compete this weekend. Some are, as Mark said, some are tune up. Some we're getting one more look at a few athletes that kind of haven't convinced us they need to be on that 30-man roster for the SEC meet. So again, both meets really, really important in regards to, and this one, our last one leading into the SEC meet, finalizing our schedule, tuning up a few guys that need tune up, resting a few others that need to be rested.
And is there any specific, events that you'll be really keen into this weekend when it comes to getting that roster right for next week?
Yeah, for sure. There's a couple of them. There's one in the 100 meters. We're going to put freshman Kevin Bello in the 100-meter dash. He's more of a 400-meter runner, but has great foot speed. We're still trying to piece together that 4x1 relay team that we think could be a national contender at some point. Certainly, that means in the SEC, kind of the same thing, right? I mean, we could be ranked fifth or sixth in the country and be fifth or sixth in the SEC meet. That's how tough that meet is. So, yes, there's a few guys that we're testing to see if we can't relieve a guy like Jaden Smith, who's in the open 400, but he's a 400-meter runner running on our 4x1. So maybe we can give him some relief by if our freshman can step in there and show his stuff in the 100-meter dash. We got the 1500, which I think is going to be a really good race. You've got Oklahoma State and two good Arkansas guys that are wanting to run really fast, and that race will be one of the last ones of the evening. But Oklahoma State and us will bang heads there. There are some guys on, even though there's an SEC meet coming up, there are guys trying to get the world standard to get to the world championships. And so they want to run a certain time. And usually the weather's really good this time of year for us. And the conditions look good tomorrow night. So we have Ruben Reyna in that race, and we have who hasn't raced since his personal best at Mount Sac. As you know, he's the reigning mile champion from the SEC indoor meet. And then all of a sudden, Donovan Pickett's one of our freshmen that is really starting to come on. So the 1500 looks good. Henry Kiner in the triple jump. So here and there, we're testing these guys out to see, again, who's going to make that coveted 30-man roster, knowing there's 48 guys on my team and only 30 can go.
Then, Coach, last question for you, a little bit of a fun one. I saw your managers ended up winning the their relay race. What does that mean to see, the guys who don't get the attention necessarily every week that aren't on the main team be able to go out and pick up a win like that?
Oh, it was fun. I mean, that's something that is a tradition down there at LSU. If we didn't go to that meet next year, I'd probably get a lot of pushback from the managers. Our four or five managers do a phenomenal job for us. And it's kind of fun to have them do what the rest of us are doing. And so they practice their handoffs the week of the meet, and just kind of a fun thing for them that they're able to get out onto the track and experience what they're helping our guys 24/7 since August. So it's kind of a fun conclusion to the regular season for them, and they get included in it. So kind of fun. We did win it. Our goal is to win everything, right? And so we want to win that too. So they did a great job.
Thanks, Buck.
Okay.
Thank you, Evan. I'm not sure where I had Ethan coming from today. Apologies for that.
You're
Oh,
good.
I'm fine.
I was just making sure. I was like, I think you're pointing to me. I know I have Jacob
Sorry.
on my Zoom
Sorry about
thing
that.
anyway. So
Dude, I can't remember the guys on my team, so I apologize for that.
Matthew, did you have a question for Coach Bucknam?
Sorry, brother.
Yeah, hi Chris. Is there an aspect of every year is there an aspect of the final home meet of the season that you look forward to or that you always seem to enjoy?
Yeah, I think one of the things we're recognizing our seniors. So that's something that we do traditionally on this meet, the last regular home season meet. So we're able to recognize our guys that have competed for us and done a great job. So but that's one thing I look forward to. And the other thing too, again, it's just nice to have this one final tune-up meet on this unbelievable track that we have. So we're appreciative of this great facility and our officials and all that stuff. From an official standpoint, it takes quite a few of those officials that run off a track meet. They're here and they host NCAA. Like we host the NCAA championships next year indoors. We host SEC championships quite often. And for them to come back, even though it seems like a low key meet, everything that we do is really important. So we got a great officials group. We got great facilities. We're home. It's graduation weekend, and we don't have to travel. So we're blessed to be able to be here. So yeah, I look forward to just being at home and letting our guys stay rested up. They're just coming off of finals, and so it's nice that we're not traveling somewhere like some other schools.
Yeah, and I imagine that every senior is going to care. Is there one senior in particular that, you could just tell just really like that race really is important to them?
Um, I think I couldn't pinpoint, one particular guy. I guess I would look at Ruben Reyna, even though he's got another year of eligibility. His will be a grad student, and we kind of do an undergrad thing, and he runs at home, and he's from this area, so it's always a big race for him.
And then I know it happened a few weeks ago, but was just kind of curious your thoughts on Jordan Anthony's 100-meter and breaking the record and all that.
Yep, he's a special athlete, no question about it. Think he's just scratching the surface. So we're excited to watch him. We don't have him competing this weekend, but he'll be a big part of what we do next week in Lexington. So giving him some much needed rest, but yeah, he's looking really good, and he's the NCAA indoor 60-meter champ, and somebody to be reckoned with outdoors in the 100 and the 200, obviously anchoring our 4x1. So